Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another one of the In Conversation With videos that we're doing during this pandemic, which hopefully will be over very soon. But I'm delighted this afternoon to talk about business travel, and which is an unusual subject for myself. I'm normally involved with leisure travel, but we have a fantastic report that has been produced by a company called TravelLogix, and they are based in Manchester. And I'm delighted equally to have the founder of that business, Chris Lewis, with me this afternoon. Good afternoon, Chris.
Afternoon, Graham. How you doing?
Not bad. Chris, tell me a little bit about your business. What do TravelLogix do?
So what do? We're a data management company. So we specialize in developing and provisioning data management platforms for travel management companies. So we basically integrate with mid-back office systems, GDSs, booking platforms, pull all that data together into a single platform, and we make that data available to TMCs and their clients so that they can report in real time on travel spend, upcoming travel, and soon to be duty of care.
Excellent. You've just come out with a very comprehensive report on business travel. Is business travel one of the, if not the worst affected industries in the United Kingdom economy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things we point to in the report, when we kick off in the report, is a graphic that we came across via Statista, which shows how business travel and travel and transport generally has been affected. So what we do in the report is we look at those 11 key industries in the UK and how each of their key functions have been affected on a rating of 1 to 5. And what we see when we look at that is, alongside manufacturing, it's travel and transport that's most affected across all key functions of business, being personnel, operations, supply chain, and revenue. And like I say, it sits alongside manufacturing at the top of the list in terms of affected industries, for sure.
So presumably that's mean DMCs in general have made losses in the pandemic period. They would have had to endure the refund process that most leisure companies and airlines have gone through. How has that affected, that sector of the industry?
Yeah, so it's affected us all massively, but yeah, we've seen downturns in every element of the TMC when it comes to bookings and when it comes to revenue, and a massive uptick, obviously, in when it comes to refunds. So when we did this report, we basically analysed all three elements of the business. So we looked at new transactions for TMCs, and we directly compare newly created bookings to 2019 or in 2019 to newly created bookings in 2020. And what we see across the board is a 65% reduction in terms of new transactions created year on year. That's talking about revenue. That's not talking about, revenue and refunds processed. That's purely new bookings. So had January and February not been as positive leading into the pandemic, then of course we'd have seen lower figures in terms of new bookings. But the most striking months in the TMC sector for new bookings was certainly April, May and June, with a year-on-year reduction of 89.5%, 87.8% and 83.78% respectively. But when you look at the revenue, it's the revenue in those months that were hit hardest as well. So revenue in terms of value of new bookings dropped by between 88.4% and 91.67%. And for the whole year, revenues dropped overall by 95.4% year on year. So for sure, booking volumes and revenues were affected drastically.
And although it's a little early to say, I'm not thinking that 2021 so far would have been any better.
Well, 2021 was looking good going into January and February. We were actually heading towards what could have been considered a bumper year. So we were the TMC sector we serve were up 6 and 11% year on year in January and February compared to the previous year. So for sure, 2021 could have been an absolutely bumper year, but obviously what we've seen put paid to that.
Now, most people now are keen to talk about recovery, about the vaccination program in the UK is rolling out, as it is around the world to varying degrees of success and pace. What does the recovery look like for you? I mean, I think most people in the travel industry are thinking that perhaps business travel will be the last sector of the travel industry to recover, but is that something that you agree with?
To a point, yeah. I mean, I think, I mean, we actually, we discussed this in the report as well with some of our industry peers. On what we think and what we see is that whilst it's fantastic that the speed and the acceleration we've got around vaccinations in the UK is going great guns, and the government should be commended for that. But what the issue for us is allowing travel to be aligned with the success of other countries' vaccination programs. So that being the case, the top 10 destinations that we fly to as business travelers from the UK in 2019, we're not going to see full vaccination or a vaccination program rolled out into all of those countries or completed in those countries until the middle of 2022. If you look at the volumes that they are vaccinating at. So I mean, we've modeled, or we've applied a couple of models to some recovery scenarios, and depending on different factors that we look at, we're looking at a recovery of anywhere between 18 and 21% versus 2019 figures for 2021. So by the end of 2021, anywhere between 18 and 21% of 2019 figures should be achieved.
That's still quite a drastic reduction, and that presumably is going to mean trouble for TMC's potential mergers, or even people going out of business, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively. I mean, obviously, with the we just seen it recently this week with Baxter Hall. So Baxter Hall, a stalwart of business travel, particularly in the SME sector. Devastating to see those guys go. We've seen Thornton's Travel in Bristol go. And we saw earlier in the year STA Business Travel go on. STA as a travel agency globally go under. I think as an industry, we would be remiss if we thought that there were going to be no more clients or agencies going bust. And I think there are more to come. What the volume of that's going to be is anybody's guess. But the sooner we can get people traveling again and the more support we can get targeted to the industry, that's got to be an objective.
Yes, industry-specific support seems to be something that, as far as the travel industry is concerned, the government are turning a blind eye to, and certainly are blocking their ears to. The importance of technology in this recovery. I mean, technology has maintained many relationships during the pandemic. We're doing something over a technology that probably we wouldn't have done. Well, I always say 12 months ago, but 12 months ago we might have done. 14 months ago, we probably wouldn't have been doing this. How important has technology been for the business travel sector, and how important will it be in coming out of this pandemic?
Yeah, I think there's two things. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sit here as a owner of a technology company saying that the technology is going to be absolutely critical, but really and genuinely, it absolutely is. I mean, companies such as myself, as Travelogix, we responded very quickly early on in 2020, around March and April, when we saw that the pandemic was going to become an issue, and we repositioned our development team to produce a COVID tracking app that we made available free of charge to all of our clients. And we've seen our peers in the industry do that as well and be responsive to clients' demands and clients' needs. I think as we come through this pandemic, the importance of technology is going to be more around things that will drive the confidence of travelers, things like the vaccine passports, how can contactless payments, so that there's less contact at airports and at hotels and other travel providers. But without a shadow of a doubt, technology needs to be there to drive that recovery and make sure that you've got travelers who are confident when traveling.
From a simpleton's point of view, most people are thinking, well, you can do it on Zoom. Why do you need to travel? I don't think that's not the complete picture, obviously, but is that a threat to business travel as well? The emergence of technology like Zoom, like Teams, etc.
I think, had you asked me that 9 months ago, yeah, I think absolutely I'd have said yes, and I think it's a potential game changer. Having spent 9 months on these things, then I can't wait to travel myself. And the more people I speak to on Zoom and on Teams and all the other platforms such as this, the more I hear, especially more recently, can't wait to get face to face, can't wait to travel. We need to, just grab a coffee, grab a beer, whatever it might be. So I think initially it was a threat. I think now, I think people just want to travel again. I think we are creatures of habit, and I think that we are, we want to be together. I don't think long term this is Zoom and Teams and platforms such as this are going to be the demise of business travel for sure.
Good. Well, that's a very positive note to come to the end of this interview. I think we've only just scratched the surface. I really haven't really delved into the report because it's so comprehensive. If people want more information, do you have that report? I mean, is it free? Can we go to your website and download it, or how do we get hold of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can, we've made the report available free of charge to anybody who wants to download it. So it's available via our website at www.travelogixltd, as in limited.com. We've got links on our Twitter feed at Travelogix Data, and also on LinkedIn if you search for Travelogix Limited. Any of those channels, you'll be able to download the report for free.
Good. Well, Chris, thank you very much. It is very, very interesting. I think you're right. Most people are getting, despite our cheery faces, people are getting a little bit cheesed off with Zoom and virtual and all that sort of stuff, and can't wait to have a beer and have a chat and meet face to face and read people's body language a bit better and just try and develop relationships. And relationship selling is something that's taken a big hit during the pandemic. So thank you very much for your time. I wish you the very best of luck, and maybe we can talk again in 6 months' time and see how 2021 is progressing as far as business travel is concerned.
Absolutely. Look forward to it, Graham. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.